Well, hello again. Welcome again to another episode of Down to Earth but Heavenly Minded. And I'm your host, Rish. And we're going through the book of Exodus, and we're going to be in chapter 21 today. And I'm just going to read the scripture because it's about the law about slaves. And, we don't what we call have slaves today, but there is such a thing as employers and employees, so we can actually apply some of this to our lives if we are in the workforce and we're working for a corporation. We basically are slaves to our bosses or whatever if you work for a corporation. So let's just go through this. Now, these are the rules that shall set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve 6 years, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. If he comes in single, he shall go out single. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons and daughters, the wife and the children shall be her master's, and he shall go out alone. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to God, and he shall bring him to the door or the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall be his slave forever. When a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as a male slave do. If she does not please his master, who has designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has broken fair with her, a broken faith with her. If he designates her for his son, he shall deal with her as with a daughter. If he takes another wife to himself, he shall not diminish her food, her clothes, or her marital rights. And if he does not do these three things for her, she shall go out for nothing, without payment of money. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. Now we're talking capital punishment here. Things are changing. But if he did not lie in wait for him, in other words, if it wasn't premeditated, but God let him fall into his hands, then I will appoint for you a place to which he may flee. They're called sanctuary cities. But if a man willfully attacks another to kill him by cunning, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. Whoever strikes his father or his mother shall be put to death. That was pretty severe, but that was the law back then. Whoever steals a man and sells him to anyone found in possession of him shall be put to death. If you remember, this is what happened with Joseph when we first were going through Genesis. Whoever curses his father or mother shall be put to death. Don't, boy, and there's a lot of that going on in our world today. So tell me that we are law-abiding citizens. But when man quarrels and strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and the man does not die, but takes to his bed, then if the man rises again and walks outdoors with his staff, he who struck him shall be clear. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall have him thoroughly healed. In other words, you're responsible for all the medical bills and everything. Now, when a man strikes his slave, male or female, with a rod, and the slave dies under his hand, he shall be avenged. But if the slave survives a day or two, he is not to be avenged, for the slave is his money. Now, when a man strikes or strives together and hits a pregnant woman so that her child comes out, but there is no harm, the one who hit her shall surely be fined, as the woman's husband shall impose on him, and he shall pay as the judge determines. But if there is harm, then you shall pay life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. In other words, you end up doing exactly what you do is required of you. Now, when a man strikes the eye of his slave, male or female, and destroys it, he shall let the slave go free because of his eye. If he knocks out the tooth of his slave, male or female, he shall let the slave go free because of his tooth. You know, these sound like crazy laws, but these are what they had back then. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall be stoned, and the flesh shall be eaten. By the owner of the ox shall be liable. But if the ox has been accustomed to goring in the past, and its owner has been warned but has not kept it in, and it kills a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner shall be put to death. That's really something. It is a ransom. If a ransom is imposed on him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is imposed on him. If it gores a man's son or daughter, he shall be dealt with according to the same rules. If an ox gores a slave, male or female, the owner shall give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Now, these are the law of restitution. When a man opens a pit, or when a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make restitution. It shall give money to its owner, and the dead beast shall be his. Excuse me. When one man's ox butts another so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and share the price, and the dead beast also they shall share. Or if it is known that an ox has been accustomed to gore in the past, and its owner has not kept it in, he shall repay ox for ox, and the dead beast shall be his. Now, these are some laws that were laid down after Sinai, after the Ten Commandments was given. And there was a lot of laws that we don't live by anymore because these are things from the past, but still the principle is there. And our court system is based a lot on these principles. So with that said, I'm just going to end our reading today, and this is kind of an odd chapter, but we're taking the whole counsel of God here. So I'm just going to end our episode today. So until next time, bye for now.